Danny Marrow, Czech Republic, Poland, and Ukraine. Mr. Bill Gates, a person whom I have enormous respect for, had agreed to install missile defense systems in Ukraine, Poland, and Czechoslovakia. And those missile defense systems were primarily against Russia and Iran. And of course, the whining Russians, crybaby Russians, threatened to invade all three countries, Czechoslovakia, Ukraine, and Poland. And they made these threats continuously on international news channels. Just as they invaded Georgia, the Russians are not friends of the United States of America. Any president of the United States, I don't care who he is, past, present, or if there is a future president, the Russians are not our friends and never have been and never will be. Now, I'm not talking about the Russian people. There are many Russian people who the women have married Americans and have left Russia and come here, and there are other fine Russian men, young men, who have left Russia and come to the United States and so forth. But the Russian government, the current one and the past Russian governments since 1917, have never been a friend of the United States and will never be a friend of the United States. Any American president who thinks that he is going to persuade the Russians to go against Iran is not only delusioned, but just plain stupid. The Russians helped finance the nuclear system of Iran, and the Russians helped supply the necessary equipment and so forth and so on. There's no way the Russians will go against Iran. And I think it's a shame to the President government of the United States of America, the Democratic Socialist Marxist Party, which is called the Democratic Party, but they should change the name, for them to go against Poland, Ukraine, and Czechoslovakia, who are our friends, our real friends, our true friends. These people have suffered horribly under the iron boot of the Russian military for years. And now this president thinks, Barack Obama, that he's going to persuade the Russians to do anything that the United States would like to be done is absolutely delusional. It's not going to happen. And my friends, I would hope, if you're an American citizen, that you would protest the withdrawal of the missile system for Poland, for Czechoslovakia, and for Ukraine, because even though I understand the logic of the submarines having missiles to defend, but it's much better if they have the missile systems right there in Czechoslovakia, Poland, and Ukraine. I do not know how many submarines that we have that are equipped with missile nuclear technology. I would presume that that is a secret, a classified secret, I would presume, unless the Democratic Party puts an ad in the New York Times to advertise which submarines and where they are that do have nuclear capacity and missiles to thwart any system that would attack Ukraine, Czechoslovakia, and Poland. But I don't know that. I mean, the Democratic Party has done many things that has not been in the favor of the United States of America. For example, the illustrious leader, President Kennedy, under his leadership, if you want to call it that, he signs an agreement with Russia and Cuba never to invade Cuba if they withdraw the Russian missiles out of Cuba. The only problem, nobody, not one U.S. America, CIA agent, senator, congressman, cabinet member, whatever, military, has ever gone to Cuba and physically examined to see if those missiles were withdrawn. So I have no confidence in anything the Democratic Party says, or the spokesman, in this case, which is Barack Obama, the current president, says. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a grave error to pull the legs out from underneath Czechoslovakia, Poland, and the Ukraine. And what an insult. What an insult. It would seem to me the more proper thing to be done would be to call the three leaders, the presidents of those three countries, Czechoslovakia, Poland, and the Ukraine, to a meeting in Washington, D.C., and sit down and explain to them what the government of the United States is going to do and why they're going to do it, and to have no fear, you will be well protected. But no public advertisement, no public meeting in Washington, D.C., no press release with the president meeting with these three presidents of those countries, Czechoslovakia, Poland, and Ukraine. No, all of a sudden we have an announcement by His Majesty King Barack Obama that that's what's going to happen. What an insult to the three presidents of that country, those countries, Czechoslovakia, Poland, and Ukraine. What an insult to them as a president. Not even a common courtesy to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, I would hope that you would protest to your senator and to your congressman that you think that those missile defense systems should be put up in those three countries, even though we may have submarines that are equipped to defend the countries. I think it would be a very good public relationship between Czechoslovakia, Poland, and the Ukraine and the United States of America. And you may say, well, the Russians won't like that. Who cares what the Russians don't like? I don't. And I know there's millions of Americans that don't care anything about what that little sissy Putin has to say about anybody. Thank you very much.